What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Show, where I, Graham Chiusa Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network. Today we're talking the latest installment of WWE The Day Of with SummerSlam 2019. Now, this aired after NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff on Saturday. Didn't get a chance to watch it until Tuesday. Didn't really miss much. Honestly, I would say between this and the Adrian Street special that aired that same day before TakeOver, I would absolutely watch that. This is fine. I mean, if you've seen The Day Of with on the WWE Network or on the YouTube channel, whatever, practically what they are is behind the scenes of all of WWE's major pay-per-views. And they're great behind the scenes looks at, what's going on before the show, during the show, after the show, and they're fun. This runs about 17 minutes, but they're hardly must-see. You're not going to learn really anything new on these specials that you didn't already know just from watching the show, A lot of it is clips from SummerSlam, just from a different angle. Still a fun watch, but if you only have time to watch this or the Adrian Street one that I reviewed on Tuesday, Imagine What I Could Do to You is what it's called, absolutely watch that. It's awesome. So anyway, this one kicks off with Seth Rollins saying that this entire building talking about the Air Canada Center, whatever the arena was called for SummerSlam 2019. He says that it's going to be filled in a few short hours. Obviously, this was from before the show. And he says that it's going to be nerve-wracking, but he says, hey, give me all the pressure. Natalya says that she feels that her career has built up to this point competing for the Raw Women's Championship at SummerSlam. Oney Lorcan, who competed for the Cruiserweight Championship on the kickoff show against Drew Gulak, says, I'm just going to let it sink in. It's cool to be here at SummerSlam, his first SummerSlam. It's nerve-wracking, a lot of nerves, but I'm just going to let it kind of soak in for a few minutes that I'm competing at SummerSlam, which is really cool. Ricochet says that, the interviewer asks him, do you put pressure on yourself because it's SummerSlam? Is there an added sense of pressure because it's one of the biggest stages of the year for WWE superstars? And he says that he always puts pressure on himself no matter what, whether it's a Raw or a SmackDown or a pay-per-view, a SummerSlam or WrestleMania or even a live event. He's always putting pressure on himself. So the fact that it's SummerSlam won't really make much of a difference. Goldberg says that it's an unbelievable opportunity to be back. We actually see him at the start of the special come backstage from his win over Dolph, and he just screams out thank you to everyone in the back for having him back, which is cool. Ember Moon says that she's starstruck to interact with people like Trish Stratus and Goldberg, just casual, hey, look, it's Goldberg. She's a big wrestling fan, so that means a lot to her. Mick Foley said that he volunteered to be part of the pre-show panel, which I had no idea about because I didn't watch the pre-show panel. Trish Stratus talks her farewell match, and now it's only really starting to sink in that, it started out as a comeback match. But now the day of the show, it's pretty evident that this is her farewell match. And, she went on to have a great match with Charlotte Flair in the pay-per-view. We see Edge and Elias rehearsing backstage for their segment on the show, on the kickoff show at SummerSlam. Xavier Woods, we see him backstage with the rest of the New Day. Now we see him with his Stevie Wonder getup. The hair that he got done specifically for the show, it's still his profile picture on Twitter, if you didn't catch SummerSlam. But he reveals that it took 6 hours to get that hair done. Only for 10 seconds of TV time at SummerSlam, where he and Big E can come out to the stage with Kofi and then go right to the back. He didn't have a match at the pay-per-view. He was barely on the pay-per-view, but he sat down for 6 hours to get that Stevie Wonder hair done just to pop himself, pop his mom, and pop his dad, who would all get the reference and cackle about it, he says. I really appreciate the dedication there. Dolph Ziggler says before his match with Goldberg that he's prepared for his match with Goldberg. The match goes well. Goldberg wins in 2 minutes, obviously. He goes backstage after thanking everyone else backstage. He also thanks Paul Heyman because obviously they're very close, and that's not really much of a surprise. Kofi Kingston, before he goes out for his match, his WWE Championship defense against Randy Orton, we see him showing off his SummerSlam sneakers. I think it says the New Day on them. I think they're customized New Day sneakers. I don't know. Maybe it said SummerSlam. I didn't get a great look, but he has really cool sneakers on. They got done just for this pay-per-view that he had been building up the entire day before his match. Seth Rollins says that his momentum is entirely internal, and the fact that if he wins this match, obviously speaking in character, being in the ring with Brock Lesnar, one of the baddest and most dangerous men in the entire world, that if he can win this match somehow, that it's merely by the skin of his teeth, and that it's simply because he's stubborn. And obviously he was in storyline walking into the match hurt, and he ended up overcoming the odds and becoming champion. So backstage at the end of the special, we see him getting congratulated by his girlfriend, Becky Lynch, now fiancée, as well as Triple H, and that's it. So again, this goes by fast. It's only 17 minutes. Nothing to see here, but if you like this type of stuff, if you like the curtain being pulled back a bit and seeing the behind the scenes of a show like a SummerSlam or Raw Reunion, which was what the last episode was, it's on the network, but it's also now on the WWE YouTube channel if you want to check it out. Then the show is for you. Otherwise, it's probably not a must-watch. But anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed my review of the day of with SummerSlam 2019. Be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more content. New network and show video going up tomorrow, covering the latest episode of Straight Up Steve Austin. Speaking of Becky Lynch, the man was on the show this week on Monday night after Raw on Straight Up Steve Austin. Awesome episode. I'll be talking all about that tomorrow here on the channel. Until then, guys, have a great rest of your week/weekend. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.